Despot Zombie is a third-person shooter action game released October 2024 on Steam. I received a key for this game on keymailer. You play as a man named Kurt who has to be humanity's hero after most of the world has been turned into zombies. He is one of the few people that is immune to the outbreak. He gets an experimental AI chip implanted in him and goes through levels to find where the virus was created. Or something like that. The story is kind of weak, but each level gets a large paragraph of what their purpose is. The main goal is to reach the white doors inside of each stage that lead to the next. There are multiple enemies that spawn and will try to attack you, most wielding guns. For some reason, the zombies will turn into Kurt wearing a football helmet after you kill them and will help you fight off the other enemies. Until they get killed, which is very easily. In a couple levels, the enemies can change size, which makes it hard to target them. Their tracking isn't very accurate either. Sometimes they'll notice you right away, but sometimes they won't, so you can sneak past them until you have a small army of enemies wanting you dead. The levels are all different from each other, including an apocalyptic town, military bases, the pyramids of Giza, etc. Some of the maps are pretty big with a lot of areas to check out. Some maps are small, but each has the same goal of finding the white door. The only goal you have is to locate each white door and go through them while avoiding enemies. If you're able to, you can try to just run right past the enemies and head for the door. You don't even have to fight them. I mean, you probably will because you get killed, but you don't need to. Kurt can sprint, jump, duck for cover, shoot a gun, use a melee weapon, and throw grenades. He starts every level barehanded, so you need to find and pick up weapons to use every time. Fighting barehanded isn't recommended because he's terrible at aiming at enemies. He also cannot shoot anything too close to him or reload his firearms while moving. It's very easy to die, and you will die a lot, but luckily you will be respawned back at the level you're currently on, with all the enemies you defeated staying dead. The environments for the levels were pretty neat to look at and explore. There was a lot of detail put in and looked appropriate for what their theme was. Unfortunately, you can't interact with anything in the game besides guns, ammo, and health packs. There are a lot of ladders in the military bases, but Kurt doesn't know how to climb them. There are a lot of invisible walls, like on trees, that stop you in your tracks when you're trying to move. Jumping on things to get higher didn't work very well when I tried it either, because he would get stuck in a falling animation. The enemies had a couple unique designs for certain locations, but the majority were the zombies and soldiers. They all had a pack mentality and overwhelmed the player immensely. The best weapon for enemies is the grenade launcher, but sometimes it takes multiple hits to kill them, and it can cause damage to the player. There are no bosses in the game, just lots of pawns. The graphics aren't anything special, the music isn't bad, but the voice acting sounded robotic, unless that was the point, given the circumstances. The main problem with this game is the lack of direction and content. It just throws you in the game without much context and is like, alright, good luck. The game also doesn't tell you that the main goal is to find the white doors. Initially, I was running around not sure what to do. It can also be extremely hard in certain levels to find the doors, and you don't get any clues as to where they are. If you don't watch the trailer on the Steam page or read the store description, you'll only know a bare minimum of the story. Throughout the game, we don't learn anything about the backstory, anything about Kurt, and the conclusion is extremely weak. Actually, I'm gonna throw the ending cutscene of the game into this video right now so all of your curiosity can be sated. If you don't want to spoil the amazing adventure of Kurt's conclusion, skip to whatever time I have in the description. If you see the ending and are upset that I spoiled it, sue me. The game doesn't feel finished, but there could be potential for it to be fun. If there were more to do and interact with, that would make it a lot better. It looked pretty ridiculous, and I thought there would be a lot of humor, but there just wasn't much of anything. There is a small bit of humor in the very beginning if you choose the wrong color door to enter first, but that also makes the game extremely not fun if you make that choice. If I had to compare the game to anything, I'd say it's like Bullet Witch with how empty and frustrating it was. Despot Zombie is $4.99 on Steam, but I really can't recommend it unless it gets a lot of updates and changes. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Let me know if you watched that amazing conclusion. God damn, I keep throwing stuff. Let me know if you watched that amazing conclusion, or if you skip past it and want to cancel me for spoiling. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon. We have a bunch of cool stuff on there. I stream on Twitch, and we upload the Twitch streams to Patreon, so if it goes away, in the future, you can go back and watch it along with some other stuff. I have a Redbubble with some cool designs for sale, so if you want to support me, check out my Patreon and/or Redbubble. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching.